Recorded Books presents Darkness Calls the Tiger, a novel of World War II Burma by Janyre Tromp, narrated by Leah Horowitz. Part 1. Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. Traditional Children's Prayer. Chapter 1. 1933. The village of Tingrabum, Kachin State, in the Himalayas of North Burma. The beating of ancestral drums throbbed across the mountain, tangling with the rhythm of my thudding heart. Faster and faster, the pounding echoed between the jungle and the solid peak of Nojibum, reaching for freedom in the heavens, only to collapse in on itself in a helpless chaos. Despite the roaring fire in front of me, my bare toes were stiff with cold. My back ached from sitting tall on a log. I would rather have squatted with the other girls and joined in their whispers and camaraderie. But that would have been nearly impossible in the American skirt Mama insisted I wear to my 9th spring festival. My days spent playing in the jungle had slipped through my fingers and trickled into the past. Already Papa expected me to read and write in both English and Latin, and Mama, despite the fact she couldn't even speak Latin, agreed. Why I must look and act like an American was beyond me. I would never leave my mountain, the place that held me safe like Aunt Nang Lu's arms. I studied Mama, sitting next to me ramrod straight like a mountain queen, despite her belly full with another baby. Across the fire, a neighbor woman stared at me. Bonnie's mouth was coerced into a perpetual sneer by a ropey scar, and I swore it moved in silent incantation. Shivering, I wondered what curse she was calling down on me today. Another animal scream ripped through the jungle, and an answering gasp slipped from my lips. The Jaywa swiveled toward me, as if my movement had called his attention. Fresh blood trailed down the wrinkled face of the traveling storyteller, and I cringed into Mama's side. The black and white striped feathers of the old man's headdress lifted, fluttering in the breeze, a bird frantic to escape a snare. Throwing his head back, the Jaywa cackled at the starless sky. I traced my knuckles with a finger, concentrating on the steady motion. The stench of burned flesh and hide shrouded me, and I swallowed the sting of dinner rising in my throat. I wished we could simply dance and listen to the stories of Aunt Nang Lu's people without witnessing an angry old man burn food in sacrifice to the Knots. Papa sat on the distant side of the circle, just inside the ring of light. His white skin glowed against the darker sea of the others I considered family. He saw me and tilted his head in question. I smiled, knowing the answer. The Knots have no power here. I started to tuck a strand of dark hair behind an ear, but dropped my hand. Mama ignored my squirms and watched the Jaywa in stony silence. But Papa's shoulders were relaxed, sympathy for the storyteller playing on the edges of a small smile. Squaring my shoulders, I watched the drummers play, their wild beating trembling in the flickering firelight. With one last thud, the drums stopped, and the Jaywa lifted his hands. Aided by the flames, his shadow danced across the village path, alive in its own right. "Ah!" the Jaywa leered at me. "The tiger-eyed one. A story, perhaps, for you, Morankai?" The points of his yellow teeth shimmered in the firelight. "It is okay, little tiger. He cannot hurt you." Mama's hand gripped my fingers, but though a smile hovered on her lips.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.